Welcome back to Easy English Talk podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Easy English Talk podcast. It's so good to have you here with us today. Hey, Priya, how are you doing? How has your day been so far?
Hi, Ryan. I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking. My day has been quite busy, actually, but in a good way. I've been reading a lot and working on some new ideas. How about you? How has your day been going?
My day has been great, thank you. I've been preparing for today's episode, and I'm really excited about it. Now, before we dive in, I want to speak directly to you, our wonderful listeners. Where are you listening from right now? Are you at home, on a bus, or maybe walking somewhere? We would love to know. And I also want to ask you something important. Is this podcast helping you improve your English? Is it helping you grow as a person? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments. We read every single one, and we truly appreciate your feedback.
Yes, absolutely. Your comments and messages really motivate us to keep creating content for you. We want to make sure we are bringing you real value in every episode. So please don't be shy. Let us know how we can help you better.
Thank you, Priya. So, today we are discussing how to learn 100 words every week. Now, I know this sounds like a big number, and many people think it's impossible. But the truth is, if you have the right method and the right mindset, you can actually do this. And the best part is, it doesn't have to feel overwhelming or stressful.
That's exactly right, Ryan. And I think the reason people will choose to listen to this episode is simple. They want to expand their vocabulary faster, they want to speak more confidently, and they want to understand English better. If you stay with us until the end, you will learn practical steps that actually work. These are not complicated theories. These are real methods you can start using today.
Perfect. So let's start by understanding the problem first. Why do so many people struggle to learn new words? Why do they forget words even after studying them? Priya, what do you think is the main issue here?
I think the biggest problem is that people try to memorize words without any context or connection. They look at a list of words, they repeat them a few times, and then they hope the words will stick in their memory. But that's not how our brain works. Our brain needs meaning, it needs connection, and it needs repetition in different situations.
That's a great point. So it's not about studying harder, it's about studying smarter, right? People spend hours trying to memorize word lists, but they don't see results because the method itself is weak. They feel frustrated and they start thinking that learning vocabulary is too difficult for them.
Exactly. And there's another problem too. Many learners don't have a clear system or plan. They learn random words here and there, but there's no structure. One day they study 5 words, the next day they study 20 words, and then they skip a few days completely. Without consistency and without a system, progress becomes very slow.
Yes, and when progress is slow, people lose motivation. They stop believing they can improve and eventually they give up. But here's the truth. Learning 100 words per week is absolutely possible if you follow a step-by-step process. It's not magic, it's just method. So let's break this down and show our listeners exactly how they can do it.
I love that approach. So where should someone start, Ryan? What's the very first step if someone wants to learn 100 words every week?
The first step is to choose your words carefully. You cannot just pick random words from the dictionary. You need to choose words that are relevant to your life, your work, or your interests. Think about the topics you talk about every day. Think about the situations where you need English the most.
That makes so much sense. For example, if you work in an office, you should focus on business vocabulary, workplace communication, and professional expressions. If you love cooking, you should learn words related to food, recipes, and kitchen tools. When words are connected to your real life, they become much easier to remember.
Absolutely. And here's another tip. Don't try to learn 100 completely new words. Instead, divide them into categories. Learn 20 words about one topic, 20 words about another topic, and so on. This way, your brain can organize the words better. It creates mental folders, and retrieval becomes much easier.
I really like that idea of mental folders. It's like organizing files on your computer. When everything is in one messy place, you can't find anything. But when you have clear folders and labels, everything becomes simple and accessible. The same principle applies to learning vocabulary.
Exactly. Now let's talk about the second step, which is creating strong connections. This is where most people fail. They see a word, they read the definition, and they move on. But that's not enough. You need to connect the word to something personal, something visual, or something emotional.
Yes, Ryan. Our brain remembers things that have meaning and emotion much better than dry facts. So when you learn a new word, try to create a mental image. Try to remember a situation where you could use that word. Try to connect it to a memory or a feeling. The stronger the connection, the longer you will remember it.
Let me give you a simple example. Let's say you want to learn the word anxious. Don't just memorize the definition. Think about a time when you felt anxious, maybe before an exam or before an important meeting. Visualize that moment. Feel that emotion again. Now, the word anxious is not just a word. It's connected to a real experience in your life.
That's a powerful technique. And you can also create connections by using the word in sentences. Don't just learn the word alone. Write 3 or 4 sentences using that word. Make those sentences personal and relevant to your life. This forces your brain to understand the word deeply and use it actively.
Exactly. And this leads us to the third step, which is repetition. But smart repetition. You cannot learn a word once and expect to remember it forever. You need to review it multiple times, but you need to do it in the right way. There's a system called spaced repetition, and it's incredibly effective.
Spaced repetition is based on how our memory works. When you learn something new, you need to review it after 1 day, then after 3 days, then after 1 week, then after 2 weeks. Each time you review, the memory becomes stronger and lasts longer. This way you don't waste time reviewing things you already know well, and you focus on things that need more practice.
That's the key. Many people review all their words every single day, which is exhausting and inefficient. With spaced repetition, you review at the perfect time, just before you're about to forget. This keeps the memory fresh without overloading your brain. There are apps that can help you with this, like Anki or Quizlet, but you can also do it manually with flashcards.
Yes, and speaking of flashcards, let me add something important here. When you create flashcards, don't just write the word on one side and the definition on the other side. That's too simple and not very effective. Instead, write the word on one side, and on the other side, write an example sentence with the word missing. When you review, you have to recall the word and use it in context.
That's excellent advice, Priya. This makes the learning active instead of passive. You're not just recognizing the word, you're actually producing it and using it. This is much closer to real communication, and it prepares your brain to use the word when you need it in a real conversation.
Exactly. And now let's talk about the fourth step, which is immersion and exposure. Learning words from lists and flashcards is important, but it's not enough. You need to see and hear these words in real context. You need to expose yourself to natural English as much as possible.
Yes, immersion is so powerful. When you read books, watch movies, listen to podcasts, or follow social media in English, you encounter new words naturally. You see how native speakers use them. You understand the tone, the feeling, and the subtle meanings. This kind of learning is much deeper than just memorizing definitions.
And the beautiful thing about immersion is that it doesn't feel like studying. You're enjoying content, you're entertaining yourself, and at the same time, you're learning. Your brain absorbs language naturally without stress or pressure. This is how children learn their first language, and adults can benefit from the same process.
That's a great point. So here's what I recommend. Choose 1 or 2 topics you're interested in and consume content about those topics in English every day. If you love technology, read tech blogs and watch tech videos. If you love fitness, follow fitness channels and read health articles. You will naturally encounter the vocabulary you need, and you will learn it in context.
And while you're doing this, keep a vocabulary notebook with you. Whenever you see a new word that seems useful, write it down. Don't write every single word you don't know, because that would be too much. Just write the words that appear multiple times, or the words that seem important for your goals. At the end of the week, you will have a list of words that are truly relevant to you.
I love that approach. It's targeted, it's personal, and it's efficient. Now let's move to the 5th step, which is active usage. This is probably the most important step, but also the one that most people skip. You can study words all day long, but if you don't use them, you will forget them quickly.
Absolutely, Ryan. Language is a skill, not just knowledge. You need to practice it actively. You need to speak, write, and think in English using your new vocabulary. The more you use a word, the more it becomes a natural part of your active vocabulary. It moves from your passive understanding to your active expression.
So, how can someone use their new words actively? Well, there are many ways. You can write a journal every day and try to use at least 5 or 10 of your new words. You can talk to yourself in English and describe your day using the new vocabulary. You can find a language partner and practice speaking with them.
Yes, and you can also use social media in a smart way. Write posts, comments, or messages in English using your new words. Join online communities where people discuss topics you care about. Engage in conversations and challenge yourself to use the vocabulary you've been studying. This gives you real practice in a low-pressure environment.
That's excellent advice. And here's another technique that works very well. Try to teach the words to someone else. When you explain a word to another person, you have to understand it deeply. You have to think about the meaning, the usage, and the examples. This process strengthens your own knowledge and makes the word stick in your memory even better.
Teaching is one of the best ways to learn. It forces you to organize your thoughts and express them clearly. Even if you don't have someone to teach, you can pretend you're teaching. Imagine you're explaining the word to a friend. Say it out loud. This kind of active engagement is incredibly powerful for memory retention.
I completely agree. Now let's talk about the sixth step, which is managing your time and energy wisely. Learning 100 words per week sounds like a lot, but if you break it down, it's only about 14 or 15 words per day. And if you spread those words throughout the day, it becomes very manageable.
Yes, time management is crucial here. You don't need to sit down for 2 hours and study all your words at once. That would be exhausting and ineffective. Instead, study in small chunks throughout the day, maybe 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes during lunch, and 10 minutes before bed. These short sessions are much easier to maintain, and they're actually more effective for memory.
Exactly. And the key is consistency, not intensity. It's better to study 15 minutes every single day than to study 2 hours once a week. Your brain needs regular exposure to form strong neural connections. When you study every day, even for a short time, you build momentum and you keep the language fresh in your mind.
And here's something important to remember. Don't try to be perfect. Some days you might learn more words. Some days you might learn fewer. That's completely normal. Life happens, and that's okay. The goal is progress, not perfection. Even if you learn 50 words in a week instead of 100, that's still amazing progress. Be kind to yourself and celebrate your achievements.
That's such an important mindset, Priya. Too many learners give up because they set unrealistic expectations or because they're too hard on themselves. Learning a language is a journey, not a race. Every word you learn is a step forward. Every day you practice is a victory. Keep that positive mindset, and you will see results over time.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about the seventh step, which is using technology and tools effectively. We live in an amazing time where we have so many resources available at our fingertips. You can use apps, websites, and online tools to make your vocabulary learning much easier and more effective.
Yes, there are so many great tools out there. As I mentioned earlier, apps like Anki and Quizlet are excellent for spaced repetition. They automatically schedule your reviews based on how well you know each word. There are also apps like Memrise and Duolingo that make learning fun and engaging through games and challenges.
And don't forget about dictionary apps. A good dictionary app is essential for any language learner. Apps like Word Reference, Cambridge Dictionary, or Oxford Dictionary give you clear definitions, example sentences, pronunciations, and even videos. When you look up a word, spend a minute exploring all the information. Read the examples, listen to the pronunciation, and check if there are related words or phrases.
That's great advice. And here's another tool that many people don't think about: text-to-speech technology. Most smartphones and computers have this feature built in. You can select any text and have it read aloud to you. This helps you learn pronunciation, and it also helps you absorb language while you're doing other things, like exercising or commuting.
Yes, and you can also use websites like Forvo or Youglish to hear how native speakers pronounce specific words in real contexts. Youglish is particularly interesting because it shows you video clips from YouTube where people use that word naturally. This gives you a sense of how the word sounds in real speech and how it's used in different situations.
I love Youglish. It's such a practical tool. Now, let's talk about the eighth step, which is understanding word families and patterns. When you learn a new word, don't just learn that one word in isolation. Learn the whole family of related words. This multiplies your vocabulary very quickly.
Exactly, Ryan. For example, if you learn the word create, you should also learn creation, creative, creativity, creator, and creatively. These are all related words, and they share the same root. Once you understand the pattern, you can recognize and use multiple words instead of just one. This is a very efficient way to expand your vocabulary.
Yes, and the same applies to prefixes and suffixes. When you learn common prefixes like un, re, or pre, and suffixes like ness, full, or less, you can understand and create many new words. For example, if you know happy, you can figure out unhappy, happiness, and happily. Understanding these patterns gives you a powerful tool for learning.
And this also helps with understanding words you've never seen before. When you encounter a new word in reading or listening, you can often guess its meaning based on the root, prefix, or suffix. This makes you more confident and independent as a learner. You don't need to stop and look up every single word because you can figure out meanings from context and patterns.
That's such an important skill to develop. Now, let's move to the 9th step, which is tracking your progress and staying motivated. When you're learning 100 words every week, it's important to see how far you've come. This keeps you motivated and helps you identify what's working and what's not.
Yes, tracking is very powerful. You can keep a simple spreadsheet or use a notebook to record the words you learn each week. Write down the date, the words, and maybe a short note about how confident you feel with each word. At the end of the month, you can review your list and see that you've learned 400 words. That's an incredible achievement, and it will boost your confidence.
Absolutely. And when you track your progress, you can also identify patterns. Maybe you notice that you remember words better when you learn them in the morning. Or maybe you realize that words related to your hobbies stick in your memory more easily. These insights help you optimize your learning process and make it more effective over time.
And here's another motivational technique. Set small rewards for yourself. When you complete a week of learning, treat yourself to something you enjoy. Maybe watch your favorite show, eat something special, or spend time on a hobby you love. These small rewards create positive associations with learning, and they make the process more enjoyable.
I really like that idea. Learning should be rewarding, not just a chore. Now, let's talk about the 10th and final step, which is maintaining what you've learned. This is often overlooked, but it's just as important as learning new words. If you don't maintain your vocabulary, you will slowly forget it over time.
Yes, maintenance is crucial. Even after you've learned a word and used it several times, you still need to review it occasionally. This is where long-term spaced repetition comes in. Set aside some time each month to review all the words you've learned in previous months. This keeps them fresh and prevents them from fading from your memory.
And the best way to maintain vocabulary is to use it regularly in real life. Keep reading, keep listening, keep speaking, and keep writing in English. The more you use the language actively, the more your vocabulary stays alive and accessible. Make English a part of your daily routine, not just something you study occasionally.
That's the key to long-term success. Language learning is not a short-term project. It's a lifestyle. When you integrate English into your daily life, learning becomes natural and effortless. You're not just memorizing words, you're living the language. And that's when real fluency begins to develop.
Beautifully said, Priya. So let me summarize what we've discussed today. To learn 100 words every week, you need to choose your words carefully, create strong connections, use spaced repetition, immerse yourself in real content, use words actively, manage your time wisely, use technology effectively, understand word families and patterns, track your progress, and maintain what you've learned. These 10 steps work together to create a powerful system for vocabulary growth.
And remember, this is not about overwhelming yourself or trying to be perfect. It's about building a sustainable habit that brings you closer to your language goals every single day. Start small, be consistent, and be patient with yourself. Results will come if you trust the process and keep moving forward.
Exactly. And I want to emphasize one more time that this method is not just theory. These are proven strategies that thousands of successful learners have used. If you apply these steps seriously and consistently, you will see real improvement in your vocabulary. Your speaking will become richer, your understanding will become deeper, and your confidence will grow.
Yes, and don't forget that vocabulary is just one part of language learning. It's important, but it works together with grammar, pronunciation, listening, and speaking. So while you're building your vocabulary, continue practicing all aspects of the language. Everything connects and supports each other.
That's a great reminder. Now, before we end today's episode, I want to thank all of you for listening. Whether you're listening while driving, cooking, exercising, or relaxing at home, thank you for spending this time with us. We truly appreciate your trust and your commitment to improving your English.
Yes, thank you so much. And please remember, learning a language is a journey, and every journey has ups and downs. There will be days when you feel motivated and days when you feel tired. That's completely normal. What matters is that you keep showing up, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself. You are capable of amazing things.
Absolutely, Priya. And if you found this episode helpful, we would love to hear from you. Leave a comment, share your thoughts, and let us know what other topics you'd like us to discuss. Your feedback helps us create better content for you. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing or following the Easy English Talk podcast so you never miss an episode.
Yes, and we have many other episodes that can help you on your English learning journey. We talk about grammar, pronunciation, listening skills, speaking confidence, and so much more. Every episode is designed to give you practical value and real strategies you can use immediately. So please explore our channel and find the topics that interest you most.
Thank you again for being here with us today. We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself. Take care, everyone.
Take care and goodbye.